Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. It's your host, James Silvis. I'm super grateful and blessed that you guys are here. And I want to first express gratitude for your time and attention. I don't take that lightly. I know that there are other podcasts that you can listen to on your drives, in your gym sessions, but I really greatly appreciate your ears and your awareness here. The podcast has been a powerful tool for me to reflect, for me to share, for me to connect with other like-minded individuals. And my gratitude runs deep because this podcast has been able to reach 130 countries and continues to grow. And it's in the top 1%, largely because of all of you. So thank you for sharing this. Thank you for your reviews. Thank you for your feedback. And let's keep creating content that supports. You know, this topic today is one of my favorites. It's one that I think needs more discussion because in today's landscape of social media and status, we can quickly get lost in what we think is important based on social conditioning rather than what we feel inside is important, whether that's pursuing a job that we think we need versus the one we really want, or being in a relationship because we think we have to versus, exploring the world solo. You can kind of go to any area of life and find that more times than not, people will choose what is popular or what's more acceptable than what is driving them if they really took the time to sit quietly and listen to that intuition. And today's topic is about mastery, particularly mastery over status. And I want to start with a quote by Derek Sivers. It's one of my favorite quotes. It says, "Mastery is the best goal because the rich can't buy it. The impatient can't rush it. The privileged can't inherit it. And nobody can steal it." So mastery is actually the ultimate form of status, if you want to even put it in that context, because your skill speaks for itself. You don't have to go around masquerading as something. You don't have to tell people how good it is. People will know how good it is because of your commitment to the craft, because of your respect and reverence for what it is that you do and your constant improvement. And mastery is not a destination. It's a practice. Very similar to yoga. Yoga is a practice. You're never done with yoga. It's just every day. You show up to the mat. Some days you're tighter. Some days you're more flexible. Some days certain positions feel really good. Other days, oh man, get me out of this position as fast as possible, right? Like, it's a practice. Relationships are practices. Like the things that actually matter in life are daily practices more so than they are destinations. And I think sometimes we can get caught in thinking that, oh, once I get there, once I have the money, once I have the marriage or the person, once I have this opportunity, once I then I'll feel better. Then life will be amazing. Then it'll all make sense. Then fill in the blank. And if we don't learn to love ourselves where we're at, we're definitely not going to love ourselves when we get to where we're going, if we even get there. And so mastery is a practice. And when we learn to seek mastery, to find mastery, to commit to mastery, it gets us away from that external validation, and it taps us into our own intuition, our own genius, our own strengths, passions, skills. And then we're able to create authentically from there, which is a much more sustainable model, right? And mastery is really just the constant improvement of whatever it is that you choose to be masterful in. I first and foremost, I think self-mastery is probably one of the best places to start. Who am I? What is my philosophy? How do I orient life? What is important to me? What do I stand for? What is a yes and what is a no? How do I know if I'm living an aligned life? Right? These questions provide clarity, and that clarity brings structure and confidence and direction and vision and purpose. And if we can learn to master ourselves through observation, through mindfulness, through stillness, through contemplation, through feedback, then we can catch ourselves in destructive patterns. We can know when to capitalize on certain moments in time. We can actually train ourselves to be more present in this moment, which is always, in my opinion, the best thing that we can do, because life is always now. And presence is the unlock. All the greats, all the people who have ever done what you admire them in any field, they are masterful at what they do, yes, and through that mastery, they're able to enter the moment where all of them comes online. There's no distractions. There's just it's pure flow, and flow is one of the best mental states that we can experience as human beings. And when we can commit to mastery in any form, self, business, relationships, skills, then we provide meaning to what it is that we do. And the more meaning we have in the moment, the more meaningful the moment is. Therefore, the more you want to be in it, right? And if we look at examples of people in the past who have been masters of their crafts, and maybe even multiple domains, we look at someone like Da Vinci, who not only was a famous artist and sculptor and so many other things, but he also helped pioneer anatomy in like the written form and build, I'm losing my train of thought here with the word, like the architecture he was able to support. There were so many different domains that he was able to explore, and through that exploration, provide insight that then gave birth to new fields or helped the current existing fields deepen their understanding, right? And so multiple domains, a polymath of sorts, Da Vinci was. You have someone like Jordan. If you ever watch Jordan play, a basketball player, he was graceful, he was efficient, he didn't have to dribble when a dribble wasn't needed. He did the right amount of steps at the right amount of time, and it looked effortless because of his mastery, because of his commitment. People will often say, like, no one worked harder than him. Maybe Kobe. But, like, committed, right? And you knew it. And if you weren't as committed, you got an earful. And people will say, well, yeah, he was kind of an a-hole, or he was like whatever. It's like, yeah, maybe. And not here to say if that's right or wrong, but the guy wanted to be a master basketball player, and he wanted to win. And what he was, I believe, was a true master at his craft. You look at someone like Alex Honnold, the free solo guy who climbed El Capitan free, solo, no rope, terrifying. Got to be a master at that, right? Before you enter a life or death situation and fall thousands of feet to your death. Like the calculation, the time, the prep, the not leaving anything to chance, right? But also still getting outside your comfort zone and taking that risk with no rope. Like, that's insane and masterful. Someone like Steven Spielberg from an early age knew, hey, I want to do this. I want to be the best that I can. One of the best storytellers, directors in all of film. Someone like Steve Jobs, marketer, visionary, masterful at creating a vision and getting people enrolled into something bigger than them, right? We can find mastery in these examples. We can also find mastery in every day, whether it's someone at work that you enjoy or that you respect or admire, or it's someone in your family, or maybe even someone view you as a master at whatever it is that you do, right? But I really believe that people who are driven to have who are mastery driven are really driven by two main things. One is curiosity, and two is love. And maybe a substitute for love can be, deep affection, respect, or reverence. But for this case, I'm going to say love. Driven by curiosity and love. Look at curiosity. If you had a chance to interview any of these people that I mentioned, or someone that you respect that you deem as masterful, my bet would be that they are driven by curiosity, in that they ask themselves some version of the questions like this: how far can I go? Or how much can I learn? This is so fascinating to me. I want to, how do I learn more? How do I get more involved? What's the next step of this? That curiosity is a clean energy burn. It's sustainable. It doesn't go out. It doesn't burn out. It's an everlasting flame that is ever there. And when people can follow that curiosity, it unlocks things that they can't imagine, right? But also entering curiosity also means you got to enter the unknown. So you got to be comfortable leaving what you know to access something that you don't know. And so that curiosity is a really good catalyzer for courage that then gets you to take action on something that you normally would not have in a more fun, playful way. And then the love piece. Like, mastery-driven people have love, or again, deep affection, respect, or reverence for what they do. They want to pay homage to the craft. Kobe wanted to pay homage to basketball, right? Spielberg wanted to pay homage to film. Jobs was paying homage to his potential and to changing the world. Like, they're using their craft, their vehicle, as a conduit for respect. Like, I respect basketball enough to not go do things that I know are going to be destructive for me, that's going to take me away from giving my everything to basketball. Right? There's a meaning, an appreciation, a respect for the work. They love the work. And they don't see things as black and white. They don't see it like, oh, it didn't work out, I failed, therefore I'm a failure. No, it's just data. They don't even interpret failure. It's like, okay, that didn't work. What else can work? There's good, bad is taken out of it. It's all about progress. Again, mastery is a practice, not a destination. Am I getting better? Am I better than yesterday? Yes, great. Keep going. And when we can get into mastery and away from status, then we allow our own innate gifts and things that are unique to us to come out. And that's where I think the world can really benefit from. We'll have more creativity. We'll have more people alive for what they do, as opposed to feeling like death going into work, or a zombie, or needing 5 cups of coffee just to be revitalized. When we can pursue mastery, that work, that meaning that we put into the work we do, can provide another source of energy that keeps us going, even in hard times, even in challenges. Mastery is the quest to improve yourself as an end in itself. Comparisons are less made about other people and more so about prior versions of you. Again, comparing it to, am I better than yesterday? Mastery also creates boundaries. Who gets access to you? Who can support you? Who can you support? Right? And so when we can really commit to mastery, we by default commit to the long game. And in a world of short-term gratification, convenience, comfort, I want it now, overnight shipping, we get things in a hurry, right? But mastery says, I understand that if I want to be great at this, it's going to take a long time, and I'm willing to do that. Then patience comes into the picture. Compassion comes into the picture. And it doesn't mean that you lower your standards or you procrastinate. It means that you give everything you can, everything you have, to that craft in that day, and you just keep that going. And over the course of 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, that compound effect really takes hold, and you're in a completely different stratosphere than most people. Most people say yes to the money. Most people say yes to what's shiny. Most people say yes to what their parents want as opposed to what they want, right? But mastery is like, I am listening to what I want, and I'm going to pursue that through the curiosity and through the love. And so this episode is just a reminder that when we can view things in a mastery lens, more of our observational skills can come online. Now, there's a book called Drive by Daniel Pink, and in that book, it outlines 3 core elements that motivate human beings. One is autonomy, right? Sense of control, that you have control over your life. And I mean, that's huge. You first and foremost got to understand that you can control your thoughts. You can control what reality you choose to view and experience, right? And when we can understand that, that's one of the 3. 2 is mastery, constant improvement in a field or a craft of your choice. And then 3 is purpose, doing bigger work, like work bigger than you. That what you do is not just about you, it's about your community, it's about the planet, it's about your family, it's about something bigger than you, which always adds in this energy for endurance to continue to go for whatever it is that you're wanting to do. And so these elements are often, this is what Daniel Pink says as like, these are the keys to sustained motivation and fulfillment. And I mean, those are great. And obviously mastery is one of those. And if we can pursue that mastery and while doing that, loop in purpose or attach our mastery to our purpose, and then through the choice of mastery and through the meaning and fulfillment of purpose, autonomy can get activated, and boom, now you're here with these 3 elements, right? And it doesn't mean that you won't have bad days. It won't mean that everything's going to feel great all the time, but it will be a deep level of commitment to something that really matters. And we need more of that. There's a lot of shallow situations and conversations that don't need to be there. We need more depth. And in that depth is authenticity, intimacy, courage, just realness, rawness, not the filters, not the masks, not the, I'll tell you this, but I really mean that. No, it's like, if you're trying to be a master at what you do, you're going to want feedback. You're going to want to show up real and raw so that we know where you're at, so we know where you need to go. Again, it's less about the status. It's less about, I need you to like me, and more so about, how can you help me improve the thing that I care about? And so as you finish your drive or your workout or your dishes or wherever you're listening to this episode from, seek mastery. And maybe it's at work, maybe it's in your marriage, or maybe even more importantly, mastery of self. And that is a skill that can be trained, but it's got to be done every day. And you got to carve out time. Just 2 minutes as a thought is not enough time if you're trying to really create some potency for yourself and for whatever it is that you're trying to do. So thank you for your ears. Thank you for your time. Send this episode to someone that you feel needs a reframe or a regrounding into what's important for them. And if you haven't done so already, please head over to iTunes and leave a review. Would love that from you. And as always, send any feedback on future episodes, on content that you'd love for me to talk about. And without further information here, go out there, have a great day, be your own 1%. Until next time, much love.